Welcome as we continue to move on into the light, to awaken to all that we are. As we travel through the medicine wheel, we're now into the fourth part of the medicine wheel in relation to the direction of the north, in relation to the season of winter, in relation to connecting with the part of ourselves that represents the stage of being an elder in our life, in the final stage of life, before moving on into the next cycle. And also in connection to the air elements and our spiritual relationship, our relation to spirit. So it's a chance to really integrate, of course, as well, the cycle, the life that we've been living. And for those of you joining who are part of the program Into the Light, then you can recognize that we are coming to complete the moon cycle as we're coordinating the medicine wheel with the cycles of the moon. We're into the fourth and final week now, in which we are coming to complete the cycle and therefore die at the end of this cycle to be born again into the next cycle. Okay, so there are so many different elements to integrate in this stage of life and in relation to this moon cycle. And if you can relate to what we've been doing so far in terms of connecting with the earth, laying the foundation to then awaken to the love of our hearts and recognizing the great purpose and passions that we live here with and for, and the greater service that we're here to provide. And from there, as we follow our hearts and follow the inspiration, then we have the chance to observe barriers, limitations, thoughts, fears, doubts, those things coming in, the shadows of the mind, the old stories that we're having to release. And now we are into the last cycle, moving from the water to the air and having to integrate everything that we're learning. So firstly, are there things that we are needing and wanting to do in this final stage that we haven't yet completed in this cycle or in this life, we can say? Are there any last things we set out for and we think, shit, it'd feel really good to complete these things here now in this cycle before it comes to an end? So for some, it's like the bucket list, of this moon cycle or of this lifetime. What are the things you actually want to do that you didn't do and you still have the chance to do? So at the end of the cycle, at the end of life, we have a chance to look back and realize the things that we've learned, the steps that we've taken, and the things that we've accomplished, and also maybe the things that we might have regret not doing, not accomplishing, and being able to process the challenges that we face so that we're not further carrying or creating more shadows in our mind that we're then carrying over into the next moon cycle. So we're wanting to take time to integrate and to process the things before we reach the end, so that we can be born again completely fresh, completely new, more and more through each and every cycle. Okay, so what are we wanting to integrate? What are we needing to do? What are we needing to learn? And of course, what are we wanting to appreciate? When we're at the end of the life, we can look back and see, wow, this happened, that happened, and look back hopefully in gratitude of everything that we've experienced, knowing that they've supported us and taught us what we need to know. So if there's a gap between being able to be grateful for this cycle and the things that we've done, then we're needing to process some things in order to come to gratitude, in order to come to realize the gifts that we've received in this life or in this cycle. Okay, so we are, in a sense, stepping into our full expression as beings, becoming all that we are in connection to everything that exists, and at the same time recognizing then beyond that we are nothing. So we're becoming completely humbled at the same time that we are everything and we are nothing. So as important and powerful as our soul's expression is in this world, at the same time we're just like a speck of sand in this beach of existence in this vast universe. So not to get lost in the idea that we are more important than anything around us, but we are equal. Once again, we are a part of, and we are an intricate part of life in connection to everything, and therefore we do play an important role, but as significant as it is, it's also insignificant. So we are everything, but we are nothing. So we have these two polarities sort of coming to meet, because as we are recognizing everything, we are then letting go to nothing in order to be born again and to see humbly what life wants us and wants from us in the next cycle, as we are able to just surrender and to let go of everything here in this cycle. Okay, so in the final days, it can feel often like we might be a bit lost or confused even if we are trying to know and be clear on what steps we need to take in the next weeks, in the next cycle. And again, it's bringing us back to the present to complete this cycle and to be willing to let go, to allow these parts to die that are no longer serving us, and focus on allowing ourselves to exist within the space of nothingness, in the great abyss, without knowing what the future holds. If it's not clear for us now, it's because we're needing to focus more so on letting go and allowing the visions of life and the inspirations to be shown to us when they're meant to be shown to us. So of course there are things that we are integrating and therefore taking with us, but we're not needing to hold on to them necessarily. We're not needing to grasp a hold of them, but to trust that we are integrated here and now, that we can surrender, we can die and be born again and carry forward the things that serve us, and to furthermore, the things that don't serve us, recognize that they're gone, that they're behind us now, and we're not carrying them forward with us. Okay, so we are learning to master many parts of ourselves and trusting in the process because of this wisdom of experience in recognizing the cycles of life and seeing that we are able to understand them, therefore know them, and therefore be able to trust in them. And so in this period, there is no need. We can recognize maybe the mind might freak out a bit, wanting to know, needing to know, what does the future hold? And instead, focusing on letting go and trusting, knowing this process of life and death is so important. And of course, in our current stage of society and evolution, we can see how difficult this stage of being an elder is, because partly in this final stage we're also needing to slow down a bit in order to integrate. Life naturally asks us to slow down as we get older, but also in the moon cycle, as we're moving back into the yin phase, the more feminine, more inward stage, as there's less energy coming from the moon in supporting us and guiding us, we are needing to slow down, we're needing to integrate, we're needing to go inside and understand what's happening inside, what are the parts that I'm integrating and letting go of. So it's maybe less outward action and maybe more inward reflection, typically speaking. So it's a chance to also recognize our relation to death, which is also very difficult, and our relation to letting go within our culture. You'll notice that we tend to hold on culturally, generally speaking. We tend to pile up and compile material things and emotions and thoughts and ideas. And so the idea of letting go, of detoxing, of not taking on more, absorbing more, consuming more. Maybe you're wanting to fast as well and create more spaciousness within your body, not only within your day and within your life in these days. So all of these parts within this cycle, we notice, are difficult. In general, the feminine part of the moon cycle and the medicine wheel tends to be more challenging because we're in such a masculine society in which we are in action and needing to be at this pace. Well, you'll notice if there's less energy coming in from the moon, Maybe your body is asking you to slow down. Maybe your body is needing to rest a bit more. And so rather than keeping to push and trying to maintain this steady rhythm and pace, which isn't sustainable, maybe instead we're needing to come back inward, slow down, honor the self, honor the body. And here we're focusing also on connecting to the spirit world, in our connection to spirit, and our connection to God, to source, to creator, and our connection to everything that exists, and the many aspects of life and expressions of spirits which flow through everything, the trees, the animals, the insects, Mother Earth herself, and of course Creator, our family from the stars. The list goes on, the people that have lived before us and maybe in our life, and continue to guide us and be with us here from the heavens, here in the spirit world. So they are in communication maybe with us here now, maybe supporting us, maybe guiding us, and we want to take time to listen to what they're saying. What is Spirit saying to us in guiding and protecting us? So we're hopefully listening more in this stage because of the wisdom that we have. It's a wisdom of being a student, and of course being willing to share and trust in the wisdom that we integrate and embody. We're maybe more willing and able to share that wisdom with others as well, trusting in what we're learning. Others are also learning it. So there's a wisdom in understanding the cycles of life, and there's a wisdom in understanding yourself, and in sharing these things, of course, with others. We gain these reflections and come to know ourselves by coming to know one another, as we're all humans in this physical experience as spiritual beings. So there's so much to learn and to integrate for ourselves and with one another. Maybe you want to take a look back into your journal and see the things you've written over this moon cycle. And one last time to really reflect and integrate your intentions for this moon cycle. What did you set out at the start of the cycle? And how can you see it being played out in each and every week, in each and every stage of this cycle? And how are we able to finally embody and integrate everything we've learned, and in particular this one intention, this affirmation that we set out to embody? Where are we now in relation to embodying this truth? And what do we need to do in this last week? If we know this is the last stage, what are the priorities for you that you're needing to make for yourself to integrate it, to embody what you set out to embody? Because this is your journey, and you are the love, you are the magic, and you are the change that this planet really is desperately needing and wanting. And the change that you're wanting to see in your life, you are becoming it. You are embodying this truth, this love that you are, this wisdom that you carry as a great elder towards this planet. And so it's the chance to celebrate the last stage of life, to say, yes, I lived it. Yes, I lived it. Yes, I learned so much. And we take that wisdom back up to the stars with us, or back into the heavens, back into the spirit world, and we look back and we say, yes, that was the life that I lived. And hopefully we can look back and see how proud we are of the life that we've lived, and in our last days be able to really just surrender to spirit. As we die in this life, we're able to just be excited because we've lived, and because we know that in this process of dying we are being born again. We're moving into the next cycle, and we don't even know necessarily what that holds for us, but because we trust in this process, we know that it's going to be even more magical, more exciting than we could ever imagine, because of everything we've experienced and integrated here on this journey. So continue to celebrate the love that you are and the magic that you bring here now in this day, this week, and into the next cycle.